biatch! And I think you got it. Give me a ride, punk, or I will dust your ass, biatch! 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 Click it! Turn around and do it again! Biatch! Yes!
With Maxwell's, well, English, and I'm Maxwell English. And let's dive in. Yet again.
Chris Hansen, I'm Chris Hansen. Tonight we continue our latest predator investigation.
And excuse me if I sound a little bit, it's just, I'm really trying out something new. I'm really doing all this with some Apple equipment. It's really different. But I'm giving it a go. I know Chris probably should have had a green screen because nobody wants to see that boomer's apartment. I mean, if I were gonna get a lamp like that, like I would have like brought a coffin with it. Like if I were to get a lamp like that, like I would have brought like some dentures with it. Like I'm just saying.
We were undercover in Michigan with the
and finally Chris led me to believe, that it's a thing. It's a thing. Let's see. Getting that Adam's apple removed is a thing. Chris has had it removed. I've had it removed, and I can honestly say that it's this will ruin me. Why?
Tennessee County Sheriff's Department, the ghost team, in one
The ghost team.
evening alone, 4 men surfaced, all of them chatting online.
In one evening alone. In one evening alone. 4 men. Well, we had 53 men show up in 3 days. What happened to that, Chris? Sir? Sir? Sir?
The decoy they thought was 14 or
15 years old, who they thought was home alone. Ew. And then they arrived at our location looking to have sex with that child.
You won't believe who we profiled tonight and what he did for a living.
I mean, if the girl's not gonna, and the probation officer is not gonna, like, then the dude who, like, fixing, like, the governor's, like, AC is not gonna, like, I mean, this is a role-playing, like, Chris Hansen, like, reenactment, dude. Like, what is this? A good shout out to Chris, man. Chris deserves a good shout out. Like, I talk all this, well, uh, shit, pretty much, but, it's not a drama channel. It's more so of a blog cap channel. But, honestly, it's me, and, I respect Chris, and, I'm doing what I do, Chris, why don't you have a seat and interrogate some predators that have already been, scared straight and already arrested, and, well, thinks, the best way to, change their, outlook on, the jurors that's gonna decide their fate when they take it to trial and try to warp their, like, oh, I was just, I'm an average Joe, like, it can it can be people like you, people who are lying, and it is. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't know. But shout out to Wes Most if he made this. I know he's like, made, some very well, edited content for not only himself, but with Chris is and it's damn good. It's impressive. Shit.
We're back in Michigan near the city of
Chris and Chris. Chris and Chris.
Flint, continuing our investigation alongside Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson and his team. GHOST stands for the Genesee Human Oppression Strike Team, a task force that goes undercover.
Oh, God. Why?
Genesee County.
Like, you know, Dollface is like, you know, we have a strategy in place. We have to move on that strategically in order to maneuver and get through what we have to through this quarter in this pandemic. And set the pandemic aside, it's still happening overseas, and it's people like you that are lying.
Sheriff Chris Swanson and his team. GHOST stands for the Genesee Human Oppression Strike Team, a task force that goes undercover. Genesee Human.
All right, Ghost is a badass name. I can't lie, it's a badass name.
And this dude is like, you know, we have to put forth a little bit more effort, you know, like, you know, I see you texting, I see you on I see you on cam. There's just more innovation that keeps coming. We have to stay on top of it, find out the teen speech of the modern day. You know, it's something that we have to do. This guy looks like he's giving out a whole fucking like a syllabus or something. Like Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson and his team. GHOST stands for the Genesee Human Oppression Strike Team,
a task force that goes undercover and exposes and arrests men who try to meet children for sex. And that's why Swanson's GHOST program is.
Ew, you know, I mean, if this wasn't blurred out, I mean, maybe, you know, maybe we can see, you know, the name, you know, like John. It's going through your head, John. What are you over texting this guy for?
And that's why it can go one way. You know what? Maybe I'm not gonna sit here and pass judgment. But I think I have the right to pass judgment because I am a fit 49 to 56-year-old male who is in a authoritative. There we go. Fuck it. Authoritative position, and I have a big head. And I have a good smile, and I got some dentures, and you're going to see them one way or another.
Swanson's GHOST program is so important. Where is this as a priority for this department?
I think public service for law enforcement. They're
Ooh, Chris Swanson. You know that man be drinking pre-workout drinks for fun. Like, that's probably just like his everyday regimen. Like, what the fuck?
There's a number of number ones, whether it's
whoa. Like, he has that. You know what? Like, I know you're law enforcement, but you come off like as law enforcement. Like, just like comes off as like that, like authoritative, like just person, like just teacher or just somebody just that has that sense over you, and like. He's past that stage.
Like, he that's all pretend. He's past that stage. Like, he's like a principal or some shit. He's like, well, essentially, well, but the predator. Well, like he's breaking it down in the most, I would say the most linguistic it can get when he utters the next words he says.
Those calls, doing solid investigations, and this proactive policing. The reason we have such a focus on human trafficking is because it's the fastest growing criminal enterprise on the planet. There's 24.9 million sex and labor slaves. They're in every community. And we see that as important because we're a big county and we have a lot of talent. And when we committed 2.5 years ago,
we got talent. I mean, we got decoys. We got naughty pigs. We got 90s. You know, get my 90 on, and the American Dad has man. Like,
go to take on this, to be
Chris
the head of.
was sitting in front of him this whole time. Like, Chris, I would have just been like, you know what, just talking to this camera, bro. Like, Chris, all right, bro, I got you, Chris. You know what, Chris? You're right. You know what, Chris? Okay. You know what, Chris? I'm done with this. Okay, Chris.
Spear and to go and crush the throats of predators. We got to deliver, crush the throats of predators. 2.5 years ago to see that is important because we're a big county and we have a lot of talent.
And when we committed 2.5 years ago to take on this, to be the head of the spear, and to go and crush the throats of predators, we got to deliver. And part of that delivery is making it a priority. It's not a one and done. It's not a, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to put it out for the community to see, and we're going to move on to something else. This is our focus.
All right, and okay, I get it. You get online and you get wrapped into this mental grip. Is it a compulsion, an addiction? I want to know who you are.
How many people have been busted in these investigations here in Genesee County?
Busted. Man, Chris, man. I mean, like, besides, like, you looking like, a healthy Joe Biden, like, I mean, set that aside. Like, what?
81 now.
81.
Including our county, 78.
81. Well, that's good to know. I've in my
professional agenda, I've caught at least 300 to 400 predators, and it never phases me when they come in for the hug. It's so sick.
Our county, and then the ones we got with your team, 3 additional ones.
The ones, well, I mean, the ones we did, without your ass, Chris. I'm gonna keep it real, like, I mean, we were doing this like without the like publicity and the news crew and the cameraman and and the decoy and the 90s. Like, we were out in the trenches, man. We were just making phone calls, and these guys were showing up, and they were getting arrested in our county, and they said, don't come back to Murphy.
And we have a 100% confession rate and a 100% conviction rate.
And what will the men face in this investigation? What charges?
Men and women.
Oh, that's something PJ didn't do. That's something Tetrad Court didn't do. To my knowledge, at least. But like Dell said, it's not the lack of us trying. It's just, a female on her own accord going after. Like, I mean, don't think females cannot be predators. They can, sir, and they will be, sir. You'll be very, very, very surprised. It's not just the let's see, the teacher-student setting or dynamic. It can be a lot of dynamics, and it can be people like you, people that are lame.
And every prosecutor is different. We now just went over to.
That's true. That every prosecutor is different. Learning that now after that. So let me not, man. Like politics is politics. Tcap is ball cap. Okay, and I know that I got my ball cap. It's just a matter of me putting that ball cap on and putting that banister right where it can hit my toe.
Neighboring county, and my goal is to continue to overflow this in the entire state and around the nation. But each prosecutor is different. We have started with some state cases, and then we have flipped them federally if there's child pornography that's being traded or somebody's running a server. But for the state charges, we have 2 20 years and a 4-year, and it's accosting a child, using the computer to commit a crime.
Ooh. I mean, I know I know I have my days, but it's good to see a professional in his own right, a lawman, stutter.
And a 4-year, and it's accosting a child, using the computer to commit a crime. But every prosecutor is different. We see that we know the variables that have to be met. Not everyone is human trafficked, so we may not.
Very, very, like I was saying earlier, very, very true.
Yeah, like the rapper Lil Wayne. I'ma say this. He said it him damn self. He was hanging out with some older gentlemen that happened to be thugs. Thugs. And what to you makes them thugs? Well, it wasn't the gun and the drugs they were selling. It was no. Let me stop. So no, so pretty much he was just hanging out with like an older crowd, and I guess the people he was hanging out with had influence over these some women, and he was like 11, and like somebody like had some woman perform oral sex on a young Dwayne Carter. This is so
sick.
Get a human trafficking charge, but based on our
and she did that for free.
Operation, they're felonies.
We're back at the motel with our decoys who've been chatting with potential predators for days.
Wait, why'd you block it out now, bro?
Man chatting with a decoy identifying herself as a 14-year-old girl is Michael Lee Lott.
The decoy says, "You okay with younger girls?" Lott says, "Okay." "How old are you?" 14, I'll be 15 Christmas.
Well,
had to lie to post the ad. After the decoy sends Lott a photo.
Ah, man, I mean, all right, so put it in perspective a little bit. I mean, the guy is a correctional officer, a lawman in his own right. I can only imagine the day-to-days, but it all depends on what kind of person you are. He seems like a very chill type of person, very chill type thing, sir. And he seems like he'll not be a dick to the inmates. He seems like he'll just be like, move, or I mean, you already know what to do, right? Like, he doesn't seem like Chris Swanson. Sir, I'm gonna need you to stop, pop, lock, and drop it. Like, no, like he seems like a chill guy for some reason, which is weird, which is weird.
But he shows up in this car that he knows that his wife's gonna have to somehow come up with money to start paying for this because he's going to jail. This is not a play. This is fa'il.
He's anxious to meet.
Are you anxious to touch my penis? Look at Bailey. That's their Bailey. They saving money, man. Fuck wrong with them. What the fuck? They saving money. Yeah, okay, this is me. Okay, and Buddy still came. So I mean, if you want to, get recognized on a national level, I get the NBC route, but I mean, people are still taking in account that this is happening and taking in effect some actions that are really preventing this from happening to other people, which I am greatly appreciative for, that I didn't know of until now. Or, well, maybe. Well,
Me. Not now, but I mean, yeah, me.
When he arrives, Lott is arrested by the ghost team.
She 14. How the hell is she? How did she get the hotel? Like, I mean, too nice of a hotel. Just to, hey, just look out. It's not. It doesn't look like a shady hotel. It does not look like a shady hotel whatsoever. Or motel. It's like one. I swear, that's like a scary movie or like an alien movie or something. And then like the fucking. You know what? I was just watching Prometheus, and whatever the fuck that woman had, that octopus with them arms, like it was like that. Like he got yoked. There's no time for all that Schumacher blah blah blah. No. Hell no. Like he has gotten what he deserved. He got yoked. badass in here, bro.
Come here, come on, come on. Relax, hey, just relax, bro. You're good, just relax. Hey, lay down right here, lay down right here. What's your name?
You already know it's over. Like, you're getting yoked, like, like, you're getting yoked and shit. You're getting yoked, and then you come in, you know, like, and there's, like, 7 other, like, big people in here. You're like, you know what? Fuck it. You know what?
Down your head. Good work. Hey, what's your name? Mike? Yeah, I'm Jason. You're gonna be alright, okay?
You're gonna be okay, alright? Alright? You're gonna be okay, alright, Jason? Alright? I mean, Mike? I mean, Steven? that guy was talking to, what's his face? Joshua Cologne. He didn't like Joshua at all.
You hurt me? No. Caught me, scare me? No. What do you got in your pockets?
He's read his rights.
Ooh.
And then I get a chance to ask him.
He read his rights, and then I get a chance to throw the monkey paw at him. Like, alright, so you told us what was going on. This is not an interrogation. We're kind of, partnering up with I don't know how they dressed it up for this guy, but I wonder why, and I mean, why, would someone talk after this to try to establish some kind of character for themselves, but, just to have people, I mean, they didn't get candidly, put in the situation. They got yoked, and then Chris is like he's the big bad wolf, like, all right, and then they came to see me. Salads. And how are you going to lose all that weight, Chris? Go. Okay, Chris. Okay, because you never see Chris eating. You always see him on the scene. Like, yo, like, it's okay to eat breakfast, Chris. Like, what the fuck?
Questions.
How's it going? Good. I'm gonna have you move over to that. Let's see, just turn back around and look that way. Yep.
Ooh.
What was your plan here?
Oh, man, and they already got security in the club. Like, it's not the same, but I'll take it and I'll go with it because that's what we do.
You thought, what was this? What?
Like a sting, maybe.
A sting, maybe. What made you think it was a sting?
What made you think it was?
Because she said she was 19, and
I mean, if it wasn't for the pickles and like that Diet Coke, like I'm sure like she was talking about some kind of banister, but I know I had shoes on, so I really didn't have any worries about my toe, sir. Yes, I know, sir.
She said she
and I know how it sounds, sir.
was 19.
well,
He said 18. He said 17. 35. No, 30. No, I did a bad thing. I didn't know. Why would you need that cover story if you're going to Atlantic City to gamble? But my other brother.
said she was 19, and then she's like 14, 15, and then she's gonna turn 14.
Yeah, what she said was she was going to be 15 in December, but she's 14 now.
Christmas, right? And then I was like, something just don't sound right.
Pedo. He was like, I mean, I got a 15-year-old daughter myself. I'm just like, I got a 15-year-old daughter myself.
Cats don't lie, and one of the crimes committed here occurs in the chat. That's the first element of criminal
Oh
activity.
man, somebody's pulling on those G-strings in his neck, man. Jeez.
But you came here anyway.
I was just gonna check.
You were just going to check.
Yeah,
And so what was your plan once you got here? What were you going to do?
to see how old she actually was.
So you just decided,
Ma'am, do you have your ID? I'm 14. I can... Wait, let me go to my room in this motel and get my library card. What a waste of a nightie that I have on, and get you my identification, and we can get this party started. Fine.
to go for a ride today. You're in,
Actually, no, Home Depot too.
you're on your way to Home Depot.
Yeah.
What were you going to do at Home Depot?
Buy paint.
Buy paint.
Yeah.
And so on the way,
What was I gonna do at Home Depot? Shop. And what was that gonna lead to? Well, economic growth in the community. The community. And you think you deserve to be in the community. Like, Chris is like...
Home Depot to buy paint, you decided to pop in and have sex with a 14-year-old girl.
I wasn't gonna have sex with her.
You weren't going to have sex with
No.
her. I have heard no less.
Then 3 doctors tell me if I continue to do this until my late 80s, I will die on camera.
Than 100 times, probably 300 times in reality.
I didn't mean it. I wasn't going to do anything. I'm going to get help. I just was here to check on her. I wanted to see if it was real. I was going to tell
Shit.
her parents. It's all BS.
BS.
What were you going to do?
Well, I was gonna see how old she actually was. If she was, I was gonna ask her for proof when I got here. See if she had a license or whatever. She didn't have a license. If she was really 15, I was gonna bounce. But
What a gentleman. He was gonna, set the pizza aside, He was just gonna, check out the situation, Just, check out the situation.
You're
I
going
mean,
to...
not in 2 seconds.
she was older than 18. I was probably gonna ask because she said she squirted. I've never seen it before. I was gonna ask her to see if I could see
Squirted. What do you mean by squirted?
Well, what I mean, Chris, is what you already know. But let's humiliate this guy some more. Thank you, sir.
that. Like, I don't know, like the girl gets off and she like ejaculates outside or whatever.
So you thought, well, on the way to Home Depot, why not stop and see this girl perform this sexual act?
Right.
Right.
And what were you supposed to be painting today?
But outside my house, I don't know where I pull this, but
The outside.
I mean, you can check my trunk. Like, I had paint all in my trunk. Like, it's like I'm so dirty. Like, all this paint is on me. Like,
House.
yeah, you got
What color were you going to paint it?
graphite charcoal.
Graphite charcoal. And you're the homeowner?
Yeah.
yeah.
That's some to-do list. Okay, honey, I'm going to the Home Depot to get graphite gray paint to paint the house. You take care of the 3 kids. Oh, wait, on the way I'm going to stop by and see a 14-year-old girl to have sex or watch her perform a sex act. Who does that? I mean, this guy, obviously. But, you're talking about somebody who's 32 years old and a corrections officer in a state prison. A lawman in his own right.
A lawman in his own right.
If you can't tell right from wrong after my...
John, we've been through this before. You show up in a house in suburban Washington, looking to meet up with an underage child, buck naked. And you're here the next day saying that you're here to meet another underage child, and you call yourself Shane this time. Sir, I really was not about the sex, sir. Like, get those cameras or... no, John. We can't... No, John? John. I'm gonna need you to tie your shoes and walk across that street and get the fuck away from me before I slap you in the back of the head. So sick.
monitoring inmates all day, every day, 40 plus hours a week, then what other example do you need to stay straight? And yet this guy does it anyway? What else has he done? What would he have done in addition to this had he not been caught? That's the fear. Do you live with anybody else?
My wife and kids.
Your wife and kids. And how old are your children?
9, 6, and 9, 7, and 8.
9, 7.
Oh man, like,
So you-
when this kid seen this, they were like, damn, like that doesn't even know our fucking birthday. Damn, like that shit must have hurt a little bit. I mean, said, I don't even know if you can have a relationship with your kids if you're a pedophile, to be honest.
Oldest
Maybe through Skype. Maybe.
is 5 years older than the girl you were going to come see here today. Correct?
Right.
And you're okay with
Yes,
that?
sir.
No. That I was really going to ask her to see her ID. If you read it, obviously you read the text messages, I asked for
I mean,
proof of her
obviously.
age.
You did.
Yes.
And what do you think your wife is going to say about this?
Wouldn't be happy.
Wouldn't be happy.
I mean, I'm already like, I mean, I already took like 3 Xans. Like, if I were gonna come here and do something stupid, like, I would want to be calm. So, like, I really had no intentions. I'm really just here, just to check, her age. But if she, didn't have an ID, I was just gonna bounce. Like, is this man high or am I high? Like, are we both high? Like, this man is like, bro, like, he's not even saying like, bro, what's wrong with that? Like, this. Like, he's just like, yeah, I mean, yeah, technically, yeah, you're right, Chris. I was here to, yeah, I was trying to tie those shoes,
No.
What's your name?
Mike.
Mike what?
Lot.
Lot. And how old are you, Mike?
32.
32. And have you ever been in trouble
30.
before?
No, never.
Have you ever been caught by police before?
Nope, nothing.
Have you ever tried to solicit a girl who was underage?
Yeah. Because we have that chat log too, with Waukesha. and you plan to indulge in a sexual activity while under the influence with this child. Put the race aside, put the name aside. What is going through your head, John?
No.
So you just, today, decided that on the way to Home Depot to get graphite-colored paint to paint
Yes,
your
sir.
house where your wife and 3 children live,
Yes,
you
sir.
stop here to see a 14-year-old girl.
Well,
Yeah.
Why did you think that was okay?
I really was going to ask her for proof of her ID or something, but
You see why that doesn't make sense,
I
right?
understand that.
I've heard that story so many times, Mike.
No, I get it. I totally.
sir, who are you? Like, take me to jail? What is this? Sir, like, these people probably got off because of this, man. Like, what, sir? What is this? I know you're a therapist.
Understand.
Why should I believe you?
Who are you,
Sure,
sir? I'm not really a predator, sir.
I really don't know.
You really don't know? Nothing shocks me anymore. The backstory, the kids, the wife, the relationships. It's what I call the collateral damage, and it's perhaps the second most alarming thing besides the victimization of a child here, is that the people who are involved in the collateral damage are victimized as well. And it's a hard thing to deal with. There's a whole issue there with, you know, the spouse, the children coming to grips with this, and how is it possible that my father, my spouse, would do this?
Right?
Without anybody knowing. In the chat you say, I want to eat your pussy.
Oh,
That's-
shit, Chris. I mean, if you were gonna drop gems like that, like, I would have brought lube. Like, I mean, that's the first thing you do when you masturbate. Like, well, for some. Some. And what do you mean by some? Well, a majority of a particular crowd of people within a mass population that likes one thing. Chris. Shits. Can I go home now?
Yes?
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Like, go down there.
You wanted to go
Like,
down?
go down on it, bro.
That's-
Like, como type. Like Chris. Like, you never, like, como.
Yes, I thought she was lying by her. I didn't think she was.
Yeah, you thought she was lying about her age, but she said 14, and you wouldn't. She said she was 14 and wouldn't be 15 until December.
I didn't think she was telling me the truth.
Like, that's bad, bro. Like, what's the ID gonna do for you? Like, that's only shaving a year off. Like, what? That's still, you know, bad. What the fuck? Mike? It's going through your head.
What do you think? What
The
made
way
you
she was.
think?
Clean cut guy. It can be you. Or even the guy next to you at Michigan State. You know? Or even Chris. Or sometimes it can just be people like you. People that are lying.
Talking to me.
I know, but she couldn't have made it clearer, Mike.
Yeah, I understand.
You say, I want to fuck you hard.
Well,
Explain.
Just have.
I wonder what Chris says then. What the fuck does Chris say? Like, the hell? Like, I mean, I get the hysterics. I get the dramatics. I get the linguistics that Chris uses, the skills and everything that he's learned in school. I get it. I get he's a smart guy. Very well polished, very well spoken, knows when and how to say it. And that's different. I ain't never really hear nobody say no shit like that. Like, he knows when and how to say it. Like,
Sex with her.
It's hard for me to believe, Mike, that this is your first rodeo.
A lot of what I was saying, I wanted to see what she would say back, or response back to get a feel. Like,
como type thing. Me and my 3 dogs, yes. Like, right up the street by Taco Loco.
I don't know, feel of like her responses to see if.
Yeah, I was just trying to see where she was at, you know? Like, I was just trying to see where, like, where her head was at. Like, she was a 13-year-old girl. John, I know you had no intentions or nothing, but still, not cool.
Responses would be.
What her responses would be.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't. The way she was. No, I didn't really believe.
But she told you how old she was.
Yeah.
Right.
You saw pictures?
No, sir. I'm blind.
Yeah, two.
Yeah,
I'm
too.
blind.
What did the pictures show you? Like,
Her sitting there with three
Ew, somebody laughing and shit. Like, ew.
pictures show you? Like,
her sitting there with three fingers up.
3 fingers up. So she was obviously telling the truth about where she was, who she was. It doesn't make sense that you would think that she was lying about her age.
Well, that's what the people do nowadays with the internet.
What do you think should happen to you, Dwight?
Kick in the pants.
The corrections officer told me that he had a wife and 3 children at home.
A wife, a life, and they tend to have this secret dark side where they want to lick on the tummy and fill the blank.
That he had stopped in to see this girl, 14 years old in his mind, on the way to Home Depot to get paint to paint his house. Like it was just hopping into Starbucks to get a cup.
Gets that vibe. Like it's like, I mean, if I were gonna like paint my house, like I was definitely gonna go like commit a couple felonies before. Like I mean, like would you not?
What does that say to you?
That's not why he went to Home Depot. People that have this sexual deviancy, that's all they think about.
Oh,
it's like addicts. They work, they have families, but they're always thinking about how to stay high, how to keep from being dope sick. That is their top focus.
Ew.
A guy like this, his family's not his focus. His job's not his focus. He wants to have.
And people think like, all right, like I got a family, bro. Like, bro, like if you're blessed to have a family, bro, like trust me, like do right by your family. Especially, if you're, if it's your little family, like your wife, your children, in your life, like, and don't have a secret dark side, and you won't meet people like this, I don't know what to call this. I don't know if it's a high top fade, or is it a faux hawk, or what, sir? Like I'm just trying to understand like the patch in the head where it looks like you've been hit over the head with like a meat grinder.
Sex with an underage girl.
But what does it say about this crime that a guy can function as a corrections officer, a lawman in his own right, have
a lawman in his own right,
wife, children? One of those children is almost the same age as the child he was going to violate. Children is almost the same age as the child he was going to violate, and yet conduct himself in private in this menacing, predator-like fashion.
That is the scary
Whoa,
part.
you look way too excited.
Monsters
bro.
among us. And we live in a world that has
And I'm one of them. Like, yes, sir. Yes, sir, you are.
Individuals that, if we don't do our job, then they will continue to lurk and continue to violate. But it's a reality. And when I...
It's a reality that I face, I grew up understanding the law from a very different perspective. Just inhabitants. Just I was always involved in the stings. Yes, I started, as a mere decoy, and it caught my eye, and I feel as if, if I were able to put that 90 on, I'm able to get these guys without that 90. And that's what I've done, Chris. That's what Ghost has done.
Talk to the community. I hold nothing back. I want people to be scared. I want people to be respectful of peace and law and order. I want people to understand that you can't take your eyes off your kids. You shouldn't.
Ew.
You can't take your eyes off people that are very close to you. Always have a watchful eye on the people that mean the most to you.
Very true.
And those that have positions of influence over younger, vulnerable people, whether it's kids or elderly or the mentally ill or even the addicted, we've got to protect them from the wolves around them.
Yep.
Obviously learned my lesson.
Like who lit the J before they interviewed this guy? Like,
You learned your lesson now.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to ever do this again.
Hell no.
Hell no.
No.
But it took this for you to learn the lesson.
They don't want me doing this again.
All right, I need you to be honest with me. How many times have you done this before?
How many times have I...
Met an underage girl online?
Never.
Never.
Honestly, never.
So what made you do it today?
I was bored.
When I seen pictures, she didn't look 15. Got her ass at 19. And then, the way she was talking to me, I didn't think she was 15. And I wanted to see for myself.
Because it was a 38-year-old male.
She was really 15. I actually almost wanted to call the police and say that she was doing this.
You wanted to call the police and report her, but instead you came over to have sex with her. What would have happened, Mike, if I wasn't here?
Well, if you weren't here, Chris, I would have still gotten arrested. I just wouldn't have had this chance to really give the court and the judge like a look at my disposition after ruining my life.
The police weren't here, and just you and the girl were here.
I wouldn't have had sex with her. I wouldn't have.
Come on.
I wouldn't have had sex with her.
Who are you talking to here? Who are you talking to here?
So you're just gonna watch her?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Pleasure herself.
Right.
Pleasure herself.
And then go off and get the paint and go back home to your wife and 3 children and paint the house.
Right.
Would you have told anybody? Would you have taken pictures?
No.
No, that would be wrong, right?
That'd be wrong,
okay to solicit
right?
a 14-year-old online, but the rest of it's wrong. Well, Mike, there's something you need to know.
I'm pretty sure they already briefed you, sir, but there's something I need to reiterate.
I'm Chris Hansen, and we're doing a story on adults.
I like how they made it seem like Chris wasn't there. It's just the angle they got it at, the angle, man. That angle is killer. That angle is killer. It saved the show.
I'm Chris Hansen, and we're doing a story on adults trying to meet children online for sex.
This man on the phone is playing Candy Crush, waiting for Chris to get done with his little bullshit,
Right. Is there anything else you want people to know?
No.
What do you say to your wife and family about this?
I'm sorry for doing this. I'm sorry for doing this.
You're sorry for doing this.
Yeah.
What do you think should happen now?
I'll learn a lesson.
You learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Do you think you should go to jail?
Well, it depends. Are you gonna ask me when I'm high or when I sober up? Because these Zans right now are definitely taking effect. Sir, I came here for paint. Where the hell am I?
No, I've never done anything wrong before.
This is wrong, right?
Yeah.
You did this.
Yeah, you smoked a J or two. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm just saying, it's a lot of, it's a lot of backwards controversy around that marijuana plant, and I'm just saying, bro, you come off as a hippie to me.
You solicited an underage girl for sex, right?
Chris had to get that in.
No questions.
No.
You did it.
Yep.
And you know that's a felony.
No.
It's against the law.
Right.
What do you do for a living?
I thought it was a misdemeanor. I thought, they were just gonna slap me over the wrist, maybe put my 90 on, but no, they actually gave me about 7 years. I had to serve about 4. I'm currently waiting for parole now.
Actually, I work in a prison.
You work in a prison?
Yeah.
Which prison?
In his own right.
Carson.
Carson Prison.
Yeah.
Is that a state prison?
Yeah.
And what do you do in the prison?
I monitor inmates.
Monitor inmates. Are you a corrections officer?
Yeah.
So you're a corrections officer, monitoring inmates, some of whom likely are in there for being predators.
Right.
And here you are,
Yes.
getting caught by me.
And they told me all about their little story, sir, and you know what? I could not contain my emotions, sir, so I went, let me just say, I came to reassure you.
You're a predator.
Right.
Don't you think that's a little ironic?
Right.
John.
The next stop for you could be in the same prison where you used to work.
It won't be, Chris.
What do you think they're going to do to you if you go to prison, Mike?
Well, yeah.
Do you think they're going to like that?
Ew.
You know, they watch my shows in prison. When he said he worked in a prison,
They probably do, man. I seen some shit, some videos of some prisoners, fuck sticking a phone. Got a fucking TV set up with fucking Netflix and shit in prison and shit. I mean, fuck that.
As a corrections officer, monitoring inmates, I was a bit taken aback. I mean, we've seen people involved in law enforcement and military get caught in these investigations in the past, but it's not as frequent. And so, yeah, it blew me away a little bit.
How long have you been a prison corrections officer?
A couple years.
Couple years. And did you have to go through a background check?
Yes.
And what specifically do you do at the Carson prison?
Just monitoring.
That
That's it.
would fit his job description, Chris. And as an anchor, what would you do at Dateline NBC? Cover stories. And what would that lead to? Publicity. And what would that lead to? Notoriety. And what would that lead to? Me cheating on my wife. And what would that lead to?
Are you friends with the other corrections officers?
Not really. No.
Not really.
Right, bro?
What do you think they're doing?
It's like work, man. Like, go and Bailey.
Well, imagine being a corrections officer and finding out one of your fellow officers got arrested in a sting operation trying to have sex with an underage girl. Of course they're going to be upset. You would expect them to be upset, disappointed. And who is this guy working among us who has this responsibility of overseeing inmates? And he's committing crimes himself? That's shocking.
Come on. Come on.
Anything else you want people to know?
No, sir.
All right. Mike, you're free to go with these gentlemen.
Free to go. I'm
Yeah,
on
I'll
handcuffs.
my radio so we don't sit down. Are you sorry?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Excuse me. What's the lesson in this one?
I was on a big one way.
Have you ever talked to other underage girls
I
online?
never talked to anyone.
See, it's hard for me to believe, Mike, that you just woke up.
Because, like I said, we have the other explicit chat with an African-American female that goes by the name of Waukesha, and we see you making plans to go to the other side of the city to meet, cajole, and bring this girl white chocolate. I mean, set the friendship aside. If that's all you wanted, like, set that aside. Why? Why did you want that?
Today and decided to do this. How did you even know where to go to find underage girls to speak to?
I've never talked to any underage girls.
Never.
Never.
So just today?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess?
I've never talked to
Oh,
any
come
underage
on,
girls.
Mike.
I haven't.
You're
Come on,
caught. You might as well be
talk to
honest.
you.
I can be honest.
I mean, you
I'm
got
not talking
cameras
to you.
on me.
You're a corrections officer.
I mean, like, I get what I did was wrong. I understand you're a therapist, but I don't wish to further get in trouble because I'm already, like, losing my job, my bulk gap, my wife, the privilege to see my children, and now I'm gonna live a life of obscurity.
Now being prosecuted for being a child predator.
Ew, that bed look comfy as fuck, man. Yeah, sir. Yeah.
What was in your mind that made you do this today?
Well, if we couldn't see what was in his mind before, you asked that question when it got silent. I really don't think we can see it now. Maybe he'll tell us, but I highly doubt it, Chris. But let's go in for it.
I don't know. But help me out here. Help me explain this. Help me understand what got you into this predicament.
She lured me. It was just people like
I
you.
really don't know.
Well, am I supposed to read your mind?
I don't know.
Yeah,
You don't know.
No,
What are you going to do? How are you going to explain this to your wife?
no idea.
Give me 1 second. Check out that red. What does your wife do for a living?
She works at school.
She's a teacher.
No, she's not a teacher.
Teacher's aide?
Like, something like that, yeah.
Something like that. So you're a corrections officer in a prison. Your wife is a teacher's aide or assistant. And you're here today attempting to meet a 14-year-old girl. Things don't look good.
Chris, he does not give a fuck.
All right. You're free to go. Right this way, Mike. Mike, come on.
Mike, let's go.
Cameraman has his mask on. on and everything. Like if the cameraman and the boom guy is the same person, like technology has changed, man.
Michael Lee Lott now faces at least 3 separate criminal charges, including child sexually abusive activity, accosting a child for immoral purposes, and using the internet to communicate with another to commit a crime. He's pleaded not guilty, but could face up to 20 years in prison. I spoke with the Michigan Department of Corrections on all this, and the spokesman told me that Lott has been
That's when he get the line and shit. Like when Chris do that, like that's when he gets a line and shit. Or maybe exaggerating the truth a little bit.
face up to 20 years in prison. I spoke with the Michigan Department of Corrections on all this, and the spokesman told me that Lott has been suspended without pay pending an internal investigation and pending the outcome of this prosecution. It's so ironic on a couple of different levels. Here you have a guy who was in charge of monitoring prisoners.
You have one of those guys,
some of whom could have been accused with this very same crime. And it also turns out that Lott's wife is a Christian youth counselor, with whom relatives say he has not been completely honest about the details of this case and what he allegedly did. It just goes to show you that the one thing all alleged predators have in common is they don't stick out of a crowd in most cases. Sure, you see the one that you think has emblazoned predator on his forehead, but most of the time, it's the guy who could be standing next to you at the grocery store, the dry cleaners. And
it could be people like you. People who are trying it out for the first time and lying.